Welcome back to the Clydesdale Media Roundtable. My name is Scott Schweitzer. I'm your host, Kat Shear. She's with me. She's the co-host. We're
Hi.
both hosts. We both run this show. We're so excited to be with you again today. It's been an exciting off-season week for everyone. And so, first of all, how are you doing, Kat?
I'm tired today. It's Thursday. That's usually the day that I hit a wall during the week when I'm getting up at 4:25 every morning. I just ate my lunch and I coached for 6 hours this morning. So I'm a little, yeah. Thursdays are my busy days. For whatever reason, they end up being, I have a lot of private training clients. I have my 4 classes in the morning. And then I have a couple folks coming in later on who are doing the Legends qualifier that are using the gym for that I'll be judging and recording. I've been doing that all week. And then I have 2 more private training clients, a brand new consultation, and then 2 more classes tonight. So I'm out of here at 8.
Wow. And then back tomorrow at 5 a.m.?
Back tomorrow at 5 a.m. But it's Friday, so I should be good. Loving it. No complaints.
And then it's Labor Day weekend. Gym schedule normal on Monday, or?
We're doing a 9 a.m. I treat my holidays like a Saturday. So 1 class, 9 a.m. Whoever wants to come, comes. And I was careful to block out the rest of my calendar so no private training clients can book, because typically I forget to do that before it's too late and 2 or 3 people book, in the afternoon of Labor Day, Memorial Day, 4th of July, whatever it is. And then I feel bad like saying no. So I got ahead of it this time, and I'm actually going to I'll work an hour on Monday and have the rest of the day off. So I'm excited about that.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm taking tomorrow afternoon off because we have a big guest that I don't want to have any interruptions for.
Nice.
And then I'm off until Tuesday. So yeah,
Very
it's
cool.
going to be fun, but I am wrecked from workouts this week.
Yeah. What have you been doing? You have a one that was particularly crazy, daunting?
Really just the combination of a lot of shoulder work this week. And so I think my new weight loss plan is to not be able to lift my spoon or fork to my mouth.
It's one way to do it.
And yeah. Yeah, lots of push-ups, lots of since Saturday, 2 different forms of bench pressing. Saturday dumbbell, yesterday regular. Push-ups, burpees, devil's press, strict press on Monday. Then we did some jerk work and some push press work. Yeah, I'm just toast.
That's interesting.
And then
yeah, we've got
front squatting. Front squatting is shoulder for me too, because they're trying to get that front rack in a good position. But yeah, I'm so pumped. I told you guys yesterday. Yesterday was 13 workouts in 17 days,
awesome.
which is really, really awesome for me.
Yeah. Am I on a delay or anything? Because my Wi-Fi signal looks very weak according to the logo here on the top.
Yeah, so does
we're having
mine.
some router issues where I had like an extender for the gym, because we're in like the router's all the way on this back wall, and then the gym is all the way over there. So I bought an extender to try to get the computer in the gym to sort of be a little more responsive, and people, have really lousy coverage in there. And when we were trying to do the WOD-proof app for these qualifiers, legend qualifiers, we're having some issues, which is super stressful when you have someone doing a 20-minute AMRAP, successfully beating their time, doing great, and then worried whether your video is going to actually load properly because your Wi-Fi connection is unstable. So I've discovered that one of my members and one of my members' husbands both specialize in IT stuff. So they've offered to come over either today or tomorrow and hook me up big time, with hard wiring to another device in the gym and everything else, because there's 8 walls you have to get through to have a good signal. So I'm excited, and hopefully that will improve the quality of this as well, since I record at the gym.
And Chris Albrecht is giving us a thumbs up. Video's been good so far.
Thank goodness. Let's talk about my crispy audio too. I like it. Sounds good.
Yeah, back to a microphone.
Yeah, I thought it was time. But it does pick up everything. I can hear in my headphones the music in the gym.
It does. Yep.
Oh, well, it's all good.
We're a fitness show. If there's
Right?
gym ambient noise, then
That's
that's
true.
what it's supposed to
That's
be.
true. It's authentic. I got bullied into working out with my 6:30 a.m. class yesterday.
Well, good that you worked out.
Yes.
Bad that you were bullied.
Yes, very much so. I'm a huge advocate of coaches not working out with their classes. Like that's a big no-no for me. I can't stand when coaches do that when they jump in on a workout. And these two, it's a couple, a man and a woman who live together, and they came in. They're pretty advanced CrossFitters too. I would say two of my most advanced CrossFitters that are here. And for anybody that's following along, my gym is we have a very young training age at my gym. People are trying CrossFit for the first time, been doing it maybe less than a year. So they're a little ahead of the curve, and they came in and they're like, "You're going to do this workout with us." And I was like, no, there's two of you. That's my rule. Like if there's more than one person and it's not like a close personal friend of mine, I'm not working out with you. And they basically made me. So it was fun. The only thing that was terrible about it, it was such a good workout. And I'll tell you what it is in a second. My Whoop battery was dead. And I left my Apple Watch at home charging. So I had no evidence, like data to point to show me like how many calories I burnt or anything like that. And it would have been a really, really good number, probably one of my best in terms of calorie burn and things. So I'm super bummed about that. But it was in 2 minutes, 2 wall walks, 4 power cleans, 6 front squats, max calorie echo bike. So you get a buy-in of 2 wall walks, 4 power cleans, 6 front squats, hustle onto the echo bike and just die for a minute, basically. And then you rest 2 minutes. So it's work 2 minutes, rest 2 minutes for 8 rounds. It was really good.
Yeah.
It was really
We do
good.
a lot of those at our gym.
Yeah,
A lot of those.
I loved it a lot, and we subbed out. So there, for people that don't have wall walks, we did 12 push-ups. What was really cute is I have a member at 5:15, and she's like, "What are you subbing out for wall walks?" And I hadn't, shame on me, I hadn't really thought about it. I usually am pretty good about creating options on the fly, and I said, "Well, I think we're going to have you do push-ups." And I said, "But I need to make the time domain about the same as how long it would take you to do 2 wall walks." And she said, "Oh, so like 4 push-ups?" And I just kind of giggled. I was like, "No, it's going to be like 12 push-ups." I thought that was cute.
Yeah.
12. It was
Yeah,
perfect too. Everybody that did push-ups came off at the exact same time that people were doing wall walks. It was like, it doesn't always go that way, but it was great.
It's funny you talk about your Whoop and your Apple Watch because I have ditched my Whoop. And my watch is awesome. It gives me a lot of data, a lot of the same data that Whoop does without a subscription, and
Sure.
it tells time. However, it does not start the activity automatically like a Whoop does.
Right. You got to remember.
So
I always forget.
oftentimes I'm like mid-workout going shit, and then I like hit it, and I only get like half the calories that I should be, or
Isn't
whatever.
that funny? Yeah, I remind people. I've actually done a very good job of reminding people. So many people in my classes now have the Apple Watch that I'll remind them. I don't remind them before the warm up, but as like we're about to start the workout, I'll say, "Go to the bathroom, check your phone, and don't forget to hit your activity on your on your Apple Watch." It's like one of the things I say now all the time. It's helpful.
So
Okay.
I have an outer ring on my watch that's set for 5 hours of activity.
Okay.
And so for the week. And so I'm trying to fill that 5 hours for the week for sure at a minimum.
Mhm.
And if I forget to hit it, then I'm like, son of a gun. Like now I got to do extra accessory
Right.
work or something
Hey,
to like get
it's
my
okay.
5 hours in.
More is better. It's okay. You feeling good about all that? Your exercise, your body's holding up?
Body's holding up better than it has in years.
Good.
I think I'm past the bad sore stage.
Mhm.
But I'm definitely feeling it today.
Yeah.
Every time I get up out of my chair, my butt hurts and my shoulders are still pretty sore.
Today's your rest day though, right?
It is.
Good.
But
Okay.
I'll probably do some zone 2 bike work today
Yep.
just to move some stuff around.
Love it.
And
Cool.
remember to hit my start. No.
Would you like to know why I don't have my Whoop battery?
Your son took it.
Yeah, I gave it to him. So he lost his battery in his move coming home from college, and I saw him wearing his Whoop all the time, and we're on a team, and I never saw any results on his Whoop, and I was like, dude, charge your Whoop. He's like, oh yeah, about that. You know, the battery, I don't know where it went. I'm like, what do you mean you don't know where it went? He said it got lost in the move somewhere. I said, okay. So yeah, so I ordered a new battery for myself, giving him his because he went to school, and you know, I was hoping it would come sooner than later, and it's coming. It's actually getting delivered today. So I'm gonna have to run home at some point in time and charge that puppy up so that starting tomorrow I can get my calories in.
Yeah, I have a battery with
Does
my
me no
Whoop
good.
that I don't use.
Send it over. Oh, you have a new one, the 4.0 too.
Yeah.
Oh well. All right. What's happening in CrossFit space?
So,
talk
Rogue
about?
Qualifiers happened and finished up last weekend. And if you did not see, I actually have Travis's post
Oh, cool.
up. So I'm going to share the screen. And Travis was not the only person. He just kind of eloquently said it the best. And so it started out with read all the rules first. This weekend, I decided to do the Rogue Invitational to see if I could get a top 5 spot. I made a point at the beginning of Friday that my plan would be to just find the fun and enjoy it and not add pressure to myself about it. So off to the races we went. I did 1 workout Friday, 2 Saturday, 1 Sunday with a repeat just to be safe. Toward the end of the submission time, I received an email that said my video was rejected. I thought to myself, for what? Reading on, it states in the rules, which I failed to read and is 100% my fault, that you have to weigh the bumper plates and barbells before you start. In my head, I just assumed if it's a Rogue barbell and bumpers, it's good to go. And that's kind of the gist of it. The rest goes on to say that he was doing family stuff and didn't want to stop doing that to go back and do a redo or anything. And it would be very late at night. So, but he was not the only one. Sam Cornier, he was one of the athletes that did the same thing.
Which is heartbreaking because I really wanted to see, you know, his fitness displayed after his training this year with Mayhem. That's a shame.
And yeah, and then if you take it a step further, Hiller did a video today that all those guys that didn't do that first workout correctly, and that was we can only assume that is the only video that was reviewed of the 4, that their other scores counted. And the way it breaks down is if you don't count their scores because they kind of are disqualified.
Right.
And that's what the rules state, that if you don't do one of the workouts as written, you're disqualified from contention.
Okay.
The leaderboard would have been different. And Colton Mertens would have made it instead of Tim Paulson, which is heartbreaking for me because I love both of those guys.
Of them. Yeah. So wait, so like Travis, your scores the other scores didn't get taken out like they were supposed to?
Correct.
They were left in. Okay. Yeah, that's a tough one.
And Travis finished after Tim. So Tim's score was unaffected and ahead of Colton. So Colton moves up. That means Colton should have more points.
Right.
Therefore, he would have overtaken Tim.
Yeah, that's what I don't like about this whole thing. That sucks. Now, did other training think tank athletes try to go to Rogue? Like, did Alexis Raptis do it?
My guess is Alexis probably got an invite because she was a top 10 athlete.
Oh, she was. Okay. Yeah, I was just thinking, like, you know, coming from a big training camp like that, you'd think there'd be multiple athletes maybe doing it together, you know, for the same purpose. And I'm really surprised that that was missed there. Unless Travis did it at home or, you know, who knows? I don't think he works out at home.
Yeah. I mean, he's a busy guy and has a big family and
that stinks, though.
And it's really the off season. A lot of people are probably taking time off.
Yeah. And that's sort of like a
And
new standard, right? Like it's not like the open makes people do that. I mean, every once in a while they make you like take your body weight, but that's been a while since that's been a thing.
so Hiller points out that this is the way CrossFit should do things,
Potentially.
right? Take the video submission seriously, the rules seriously. You either follow them or you don't. It's not an old standard it's not a new standard for Rogue.
Okay.
Carolyn Prevost actually comments on Travis's post and says that for one of the challenges, she didn't weigh her stuff and then lost out on prize money.
Oh, okay. Oh, and then that Ben guy that Carolyn Lambray coaches also didn't do that, right? Or also did what Travis did and didn't qualify. That stinks.
Yeah,
I
there's
don't know if he would have
like
qualified, but got disconnected.
there's probably 10
Yeah.
of those people on the leaderboard. It
And
was
like
not just Travis.
like whose fault is that too, though? I mean, are we faulting coaches for that? I would.
I think it depends on
I mean,
how you did it.
perfect example. Like I have athletes that I coach that are coming here to do this Legends Championship qualifier, and if we screw something up, like that's on me, 100%.
Yeah.
Like it's my job to read the rules. It's my job to figure out what they're doing right or wrong, and they're just there to execute.
But on a bright side of this story, did you see the women's side and who won the qualifier?
Speaking of technicalities and missing out for a technicality, Miss Annika Greer.
Someone
correct?
followed every single rule on this one.
Let me tell you, when I heard that Travis did that, my first thought was, "Oh my god, I hope Annika weighed her weights and barbells because this might send her over the edge." Yeah, I'm so glad she gets to throw down. It's going to be so exciting to watch.
Yeah, she came to play.
Yeah.
And I texted her. I was like, someone just made a statement.
Yeah. That's exciting.
So it's going to be fun seeing her against that level of competition.
Yeah, for sure.
At Rogue.
Do we have a leaderboards yet for Rogue? Like the who's going, like a final list of athletes?
They're out there. I did not prep them.
Okay.
If you want me to go get them and you want to
that's all right.
Chat for a second.
We're already 20 minutes in. We'll have something to talk about next week. I mean, this thing's not happening for quite some time. I'm sure some people get sick, injured. There'll be another backfill. Who knows?
I know our boy Scott Tetlow made it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Good for him.
He finished third. Chandler Smith was first.
Scott's got like a new baby too. That's crazy. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. So that was really awesome for him.
Good for him.
I don't know the others. On the women's side, there were some names I did not recognize.
Cool. Well, we'll have to talk to them.
Yeah.
Presumably we'll be trying to do that, right? Yeah, I did hear that Annie Thor's daughter is invited and will be going as well as an individual. So that's pretty cool. Without having to qualify. Clearly. She's like royalty.
So another big story from the week is it became internet official. I, and you can ask Amy, our co-host, have been saying this for over a month, but Justin and Ellie have announced that they are more than just training partners, that they are a couple.
So
and
cute.
if you listen to Justin on Sevon, and they're starting to release pieces of an interview they did together on Talking Elite Fitness, but they have not released the full one yet. Justin talks about how scared he was to move into that space with her because she's such a great training partner that if it goes bad relationship wise,
you don't
he
want to
will
screw
lose a very good training partner.
I mean, the complexities of a relationship like that are absolutely mind-boggling when you think about it.
Especially starting that way, like we've seen it with like Christy and Patrick and Shane and Tia, and
but you're
as
growing
coach athlete,
right? And you're growing with that person. You're starting from the same spot. To take two of them, pluck them out of their existence, and then put them together as a couple, like a romantic couple, just blows my mind.
When I know my maturity at 24 in relationship world was not
right.
was not where long-time commitment was my main focus.
No, and I mean, gosh, it's yeah. Ooh, it just makes me like it gives me that whatever. What is that in my
The
belly?
pit.
Like, oh, yeah. I love it. I think it's awesome, but like they have to stay together forever now. Like that's all. They just can't break up,
Yeah. Or at least as long as their careers are.
right? Because
Yeah.
God, yeah, it's a lot. I bet you too. Like, I mean, I know he talked a little bit about like how his parents felt about it, and his agent or whatever. Like, there had to have been people that were just like, "Dude, do not do that." This is not a good idea. But hopefully,
I
people
would
see them interacting and they understand that it's genuine and real and that it's good. And he even made a comment about being happy going to the games. Like he was really happy. Being in a good relationship and feeling happy can do wonders for everything,
I'd love to talk to Adam
right? Yeah.
because like how does the dynamic change from coach athlete? Now you're coaching two people
Yep.
instead of one, and they're a couple. And are you more than just a coach? Are you a life coach? Are
Right.
you do you settle the arguments?
Couples counselor.
Um, but the funny thing is the piece that told me that they were together is, Justin has his YouTube channel, and they were
Oh.
talking about him not wanting to eat vegetables, and that Ellie was cooking him broccoli and forcing him to eat green vegetables. And I was like, well, one, no woman is going to cook you stinky broccoli unless you're more than friends. And
Right.
two, if you hate broccoli, you're not eating it unless you're more than friends.
Yeah. There's benefits that come with that. Clearly.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, that'll be fun. Gives us stuff to talk about and we can ooh and ah over their budding relationship. Wish them nothing but the
So
best.
yeah. So the next thing I have is Amanda Barnhart announced that she is leaving CompTrain and that she is moving back to Ohio, which we Ohioans are so stoked for,
Right?
that she's
Not really
back
surprised
in
either.
town.
Not
Yeah.
surprised.
She is an Ohio girl. She grew up in Ohio. She went to college in Ohio. She's lived in Ohio. Her practice was in Ohio before she went up to Boston. Um, and I can tell you that my gym owner is super stoked that she's back in Ohio.
Yeah, I bet. I'm sure they'll be
Um,
training together a little bit here and
yeah.
there.
And if people don't know, so my gym owner is Christy O'Connell, and her and Amanda used to train every Saturday together. Christy would go to Dayton, then Amanda would come to Columbus, vice versa, every other weekend
Yeah.
to train. So I know that she's pretty stoked about that because most of her training partners are men.
That's probably why she's so good. But yeah, that's awesome. I'm really happy for Amanda. I think we all knew this was probably coming. Um, I hope she got out of CompTrain what she expected. And I hope that this was like a planned thing. Like I'm going to go to CompTrain for X amount of years. I'm going to do a season or two, see how it goes, and then eventually come back. And I wouldn't be surprised if that was sort of always in the back of her mind. Because her husband is also in school, right? And he's remote.
Yeah. Unless
I think
he's
he's
just
remote.
graduating and that
Yeah,
is,
sort of like his last thing. But
and
I
maybe
think
that's
his
why.
yeah, somehow I think when we talked to her that the locality of his school was not a factor. Um, but yeah, I mean, she got what she needed out of that training camp and is ready to sort of do her own thing again. Or, kind of hope that she gets back together with Harry and goes like the HWPO route. I think that would be awesome. I know she and Sam Quant, will probably end up there. That's kind of the word on the street, and I think that would be great. I would think it'd be great for HWPO. I think it'd be great for them. Have the ability to go out to Vermont from time to time and train a little bit with Mal and Matt in person, but just be where they are, in Washington and Ohio respectively, and just be part of that empire would be awesome.
Well, I was going to ask that question. Where do you think she ends up? And
Yeah.
while we're talking training camps, do you think there's any other movement on the horizon? So I do agree with you. I think Amanda ends up at HWPO.
Yeah. And
You
because
and
of
I
Harry.
were at right, exactly. and you and I were at the MAC
Yep.
2 years ago,
And we saw
where
it
her,
firsthand.
Sam, and Harry were completely inseparable.
Yeah. Yep.
And she even said on our show how much she missed Sam as a training partner.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's going to be,
and
that's
so
the most logical place for her to go. For sure.
yeah.
And you know, other changes. I mean, Chandler's sort of the lone man standing, right? Or last man standing over at CompTrain. Sydney Mikulishin is there. You know, I don't really
There's
know
some
much
teen.
about her in terms of where she's from and everything else. We know a lot about Chandler, that he's kind of been bouncing around. I think we talked a little bit about like training think tank would be a great place for him because his buddies are there. I think, and somebody was telling me this, I forget who it was. They were saying that because his buddies are there, he probably wouldn't go there. Like that when he
So
goes to
I'm going to
train,
say,
that he wants to train and not have fun.
I'm going to say something that's probably not going to be a popular statement. After watching In the Arena or whatever it is, I think the way Ben handled that situation with him created a bond.
What are you talking about? Granite Games situation? His
So
Chandler's
the Buttery
illness
Bros did a
at Granite Games.
documentary
Okay.
that showed how sick he got with asthma the weekend of Granite Games, and he could not recover. He could not breathe. And me, as a person who has asthma and knows what that's like, it is awful.
Mm-hmm.
And the way Ben handled it and the way he made sure that he had medicine, like the strongest he could get without getting popped for something and all of that,
Yeah.
I think that created a bond that that he's going to stay at CompTrain.
Okay. So you think he's going to stick around?
And he took first in the online qualifier for Rogue. So he's going to Rogue under the CompTrain, under CrossFit New England was his gym name.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens there.
Yeah. I'd really like to see Chandler get some confidence. I mean, I think that's his big weakness. He's so self-deprecating, like can't even take a compliment. And that goes for like even like social media posts. Like I've had interactions with him where, you know, I've said things like, "Oh, you're my dark horse pick." This was like for last year, and he'll like write back and be like, "Well, I haven't really done anything to prove that, so thanks, but whatever." You know, like he seems like he's very much so, and maybe it's just he's very pragmatic or very realistic, but I don't know. I'd love to see a little more moxie from him because I think he's, I don't know. I definitely think he's capable.
Yeah.
I mean, on paper, that kid is capable.
He is.
I just don't want him to be like the next.
He's not a spring chicken anymore.
I know. And I just don't want him to be like the next Sarah Sigmund's daughter, you know, that like jumps around to different places and, you know, people are trying to crack the code with her. You know, like we know she's good. We know she's capable, but like doesn't quite, you know, get there. I don't want that for him. So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
If anybody else is watching, if they want to chime in to see where they think that he might go. But him and Jesse, right? That's his wife, his new wife. Yep. You know, I was always thinking like it would be cool if maybe he and she and Chandler went team at some point. You know, maybe not this year or whatever. That would be cool. Like, because she's up there. You know, she went to a semifinal, so that might be interesting.
Granite Games.
Too. Yeah.
2 years in a row.
And like what other couple? Maybe like, you know, Austin and Caroline. Right? Or Austin, you know, the guy that made it through Atlas Games. Austin Spencer and Caroline Spencer.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I'm thinking like other couples that compete, like who, like I'm just trying to I'm being a matchmaker now. But that would be cool. Yeah. So we'll see. As for any other movement, I don't know. It looks like Danielle's selling all her equipment and items and beds and mattresses and trying to get out of Dodge. But she's still training at True Grit. So I assume she's going to make the move over to Brute and go to Florida, but nothing official from her or them yet on that. Tudor Magna's future is sort of up in the air. We're not really sure what's happening with him and James or him and Matt.
And we haven't heard any official statements from them.
No, this is, I'm just all.
It was all rumor. I've heard rumors about Danielle not being a good fit at Brute.
Right.
But it's all rumor. No official statements from anyone.
Right.
And I'm sure she got an invite to Rogue. So I wonder who she's going to be flying, what flag she's flying there.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting. Lots of stuff happening. We also know that drug test results should be coming in soon from the games. So
yeah, so we've got our eyes peeled to social media to see if anybody makes any statements.
Scouring people's Instagram feeds to see who's going to come clean before, CrossFit does. Because CrossFit just released on August 27th the official sanctions that were handed down as a result of the semifinal testing.
Yep.
So those appeals have already come in, and everybody that we've heard of is definitely in for their 4-year ban.
Correct.
So there's that. So
so we're going to try to get it ahead of time. I'm sure people, if they do test positive, are going to try to get ahead of it.
Yeah.
Somehow. So we'll keep our eyes peeled for that.
Awesome.
And then I just want to finish up with a little bit of good news.
Yeah.
A friend of the show had a really big weekend last weekend, and I'm pulling that up now.
Is this somebody got married?
Yes. There it is.
Oh, that is such a cool picture too. She is just such a beautiful person.
Yeah. Bethany Shadburne, a super friend of the show. We've been hanging out with her for a couple years now. So happy for her. Lots of great wedding pictures on her Instagram. We'll show a few of those. Like, my goodness, both of them.
I know.
Can you imagine the kids that are coming out of this couple?
Right. The gene pool is strong and gorgeous. Yeah, I love it. Oh my God, that dress. So cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, just amazing. Amazing. So happy for her. So we talked to her. We released it right before the games week. She's moving to LA to be with Randy. Randy is the strength and conditioning coach for the Lakers. If people don't know that,
no big deal.
That probably makes way more money than she makes in CrossFit. So it makes sense for them to move to LA. Yeah. And that's actually someone that we need to wait and see where she ends up. Now, she said she's always performed her best with Justin, but it may be in a remote situation rather than living in Vegas now. Yeah. But it was still kind of up in the air. So we'll definitely look out for Bethany to see where she's going to end up in the upcoming season as well.
Yeah. And this one wasn't on our list, but Fee Sagafi got engaged to her boyfriend. Yes. She did. That was a couple weeks ago, actually. And it's funny because Fee and Bethany remind me of each other, sort of just their complexion and their coloring and their size and everything else. Like they're similar. And it's funny, Randy, and I don't recall Fee's fiance's name, but the two of them are also very similar looking. It's almost like when I look on Instagram and depending on whose feed I'm on, I could be on either one.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're getting Fee's getting married. And I think she's moving to Florida.
They're both the nicest people ever.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. Fee is just an angel. Yeah. So sweet. Love it.
Yeah.
Okay.
One of my highlights was coming out of the belly of the Coliseum, and the demo team was there, and she came running over to give me a hug.
Yeah. She took a selfie with Amy and I when she was on the floor, when we were like in the front row of the thing. And it was the worst photo of Amy and I ever. And Fee was posting her selfies like all the weekend. And Amy and I were just like, please don't post that. I hope she doesn't post it. Because we look like ogres next to her. But yeah, she's a doll. Love her to death.
Well, never would you two look like ogres.
But no, she's so tiny and cute. But anyway, it was the angle for sure.
All right. And then our last little bit of good news for the week is another friend of the show. Super pumped about this because where it begins, it seems to end. And that is Sam Briggs, officially a firefighter again. here in Ohio, city of
Yeah.
Hamilton, which is a suburb of Cincinnati. She is officially a firewoman here in the state of Ohio, and we are so pumped for her. I think that she is probably, if I was stuck in a burning building, that's who I'd want to come to my rescue.
100%. I guess she gets to stay in the country now for a little while longer, right?
Yeah, because she has a full-time job.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And she's married to an American.
Yep. Love it.
So
Good for her.
I don't think her visa issues are a problem anymore.
People in Hamilton are very safe.
Yeah.
Very safe.
So yeah, some good news.
Cool.
What
do we have going on?
Can
we tell the people?
We've got a big guest tomorrow. And we're so stoked. Live on the air tomorrow at 2:30?
3:30.
3:30.
3:30 Eastern.
his time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I only know that because I have a class at 4:30 and I'm like probably going to have to drop off early, which is super annoying to me, but that's okay.
We have none other than Adrian Bosman coming in tomorrow. And we purposefully wanted to wait a couple weeks after the games to have him on so he could have some time to digest what all had happened. A lot of people got him like in the moment, and I wanted to wait a month to say, okay, now you've had a month to review. What were your home runs? Where did you need to get better? Yeah. And I really want to talk to him about the whole process from when Dave got fired, him getting the job, what that was like. What was it like living with him for his wife? And at what point did he accept the challenge and like move forward? Because I know when he first got it, he was not the same Boz that I have come to know. Very timid about the way he was speaking. And then there was a moment where a switch flipped and he was all in and just enjoying the process. So I want to kind of get that, how that ramped up for him. And then we'll talk a little bit about the games programming and what's in store for next year.
Yeah, exactly. My big thing is like, what's next? Like, what does it look like? The rule book should be coming out soon. They've teased that it's coming out, sooner than ever in terms of prior seasons. So that's going to be just exciting to see how it all shakes out. And I'm sure we'll have plenty to talk about.
Yeah, super excited about that. So before we meet again on the roundtable, we have Adrian tomorrow. We have Kelly Friel on Tuesday, Thursday. We handed over all the scheduling to Amy, and now I do not know. And she briefs us at the beginning of the week.
Yeah.
But Kelly Friel next week, who is a back-to-back Masters champion, 4-time podium finisher. She's on the same trajectory as Matt and Tia, only in the Masters division. Yeah, started with 2 seconds, now 2 firsts. We're going to see if she can get to 5. So, and she is from the UK and a great accent and so much fun. So
fun to listen to
that. And then if you go out to YouTube, you'll see we have Jacqueline Dahlstrom coming next Sunday for a little Sunday afternoon spin with us. And we get to ask her about that sandbag competition against Danny and her fun trip to Costa Rica from the games to home to kind of relax a little bit before she got there.
Love it. Cool.
And then at the end of the month, we have Julie Fouché.
No big
talking
deal.
All things CrossFit health and her experience this year with her friend Will, which is a little boy who was a person at her gym that she got to see the games through his eyes for the first time and had a really fun time doing that. So with all that, we will see you next time on the Clydesdale Media Roundtable.